Hey guys, it's Sarah and welcome to my studio. So it's been a couple months since I have had my Eufymake printer and I need to do a little bit of maintenance. Mainly I need to get in there and replace the scraper, which is marked as expired. And I've kind of let it run down all the way to today. Now I have the parts. I was able to order them when it was warning me that the scraper and the air filter was getting ready to expire, and I was able to order them and actually get them within less than a week. So at the very least, for some of the spare parts, things are moving fairly efficiently. So I have those. And the plan is that I am going to change that out, give things a cleaning, as well as kind of show you guys the general 3-month maintenance process. On a monthly basis, you do want to be cleaning the printhead, and I'll show you that portion, but I'm also going to show you some of the other things that you need to do, as well as some tips and tricks that I've kind of learned, at least caring for my DTF printer over in my office space. So let me show you what you're going to need for doing all of this. So first things first, obviously you're going to need some of the replacement parts that you're going to be changing out. And in this case, Eufymake has sort of a printhead scraper replacement kit. It's a kit of 4, and it has basically 4 sets of the little printhead well as the scraper in the packaging, as well as the foam pads. These sit underneath the ink cartridges. So you get 4 sets of them in a box. And then you're also going to need a pair of tweezers, which I believe are going to be used to try and get to the print pads. Now, kind of looking at the size to that container, I'm not sure these are going to be long enough. So I am actually going to run and grab a tool real quick that I think will help me. Here we go. Had to dig around to find it, but this isn't exactly the one I want. I had one that's off-brand, but this is the little Cricut weeding tool. I feel like maybe to get some of these foam pads and to get them out of place, especially with this being a much longer tool, this might work a little bit better. So just giving it a try. We'll see how this works. Now, you're also going to need a couple of safety things as well when you're doing this. Obviously, you're going to be wanting to work in a well-ventilated area, and I have, my system set up with a ventilation system. I know most people can't see it. It's back here. This unit is normally connected to an AP2, so if I'm running something, I have the AP2 running. Otherwise, I tend to just kind of keep things contained in here at the moment. That seems to be sufficient when it's in off mode, and then if there's anything that kind of accumulates when I go to actually run a print, the AP2 will suck out any extra fumes that are going on. That being said, I'm still going to wear my safety gear. And for this one, you're going to need a couple of things. Like I said, I always kind of take precautions and I mask up for things. I'm sensitive to fumes, particularly with the chronic migraines that I struggle with. It's an ounce of protection that honestly is probably more important long-term than we give it credit. So I will put this on. You also are going to want a pair of gloves. The replacement scraper kits will come with gloves in them, and I suspect they're probably latex free. I have a latex allergy. Personally, I'm not going to risk it, and honestly, most of the time when you get gloves in a kit like this, they're sort of one size fits no one. Let's be honest there. So I grabbed a couple of my gloves that I know that fit me nice and tight, so I don't have to worry about that. And then another thing that people don't factor in as much, but especially if we're working with anything that could be splashing around, grab a pair of goggles. It seems silly, but I've mentioned in a video previously where I actually ended up with a serious eye infection because of a scratch I got from honestly, it was a piece of polyester fabric, truth be told. So I've learned my lesson, and I wear my safety goggles a lot more than I probably need to. Just take a moment, throw the safety gear on, err on the side of safety, okay? You're also going to need a couple things. I'm going to be lubricating all of the metal pieces since it's been a couple months. So I have that anti-rust lubricant that they sent. I have the bottle of the cleaning solution in here, and it mentions specifically that you want to avoid contact with your skin. This can be a little bit caustic. We've got the swabs that they sent. They sent you a pretty big bag. You can also get similar ones on Amazon. I think I have a subscription enabled because I use them with my DTF printer. And then some lint-free cloths. One thing that was not included in the kit, and I'm going to show you guys how to do, and that is to clean the encoder strip in there. That's something that they recommend doing once every 3 months. I do it on a weekly basis with my DTF printer, and I use basically it's sort of an industrial alcohol. It's like 99%. That should work with this encoder strip without much issue, and I'll show you guys how to do that when we get to it. In the meantime, I'm going to get geared up and we're going to get this unzipped and things all kind of set up and ready to go. So to access everything, you're going to be wanting to get into this panel here. So it is really just a matter of pressing and popping it up. No issues there. The other panel that I am wanting to get off is this one. That way I'll be able to see underneath. And that is really just a matter of pulling it down. And then there are these buttons here that you can just kind of press and it releases. Easy enough to do. Set that out of the way. So in here, we've got the printhead sitting over here. And then we've got everything part-wise in terms of the scraper and the printhead that's going to be inside here. To get to these so that we can clean them, we need to move the printhead. And moving the printhead is easy enough to do. Basically, you go into the app, tap into the settings button, and then you can choose 50 millimeters to push the printhead over a couple of spaces. Just enough that it's out of the way and you'll be able to move it safely. By doing it that way, you're enabling the printhead and the scraper bed to accommodate the shift. That way you aren't accidentally getting a printhead strike. So that is very important. So I'm going to move the printhead, and then once I move the printhead, I am going to then shut the machine off. That way I don't have to worry about the printhead trying to get back into place. That should be good enough to get to it. Now that I've done that, I am going to take a moment and I am just going to unplug my machine. So there we go. Now you can see into my printhead. I know it's not the best of view, but it is clear down there. So these are the parts that are going to need to be changed out and replaced. It is just a matter of reaching in and squeezing and popping these out. And you can see definitely lots of ink. Grab this one as well. There we go. So I've got these out. And then I am going to take a little bit of my cleaning solution that I've got with a swab. I'm going to get in here and I'm just going to clean around all of this, get any gunk left over. Not too bad, actually, from the looks of it. I expected things to be a little messier, but not too bad at all. And then we're going to put in the new parts. My replacement printhead, as you can see, if you flip it over, it's got a cross and a circle. The cross portion should go on the side closest to the front of the machine. And you can tell with the holes, they're a little bit different. But this just pops in. Here, a nice little snap. And then we've got the scraper. You'll see on one side you've got two straight clips, and then on the opposite side we've got these small marks here. The side without the little marks is the one that should go on the outside. And this should also snap into place. You see that moves, so we should be good. And then in here I talked a little bit about this is the encoder strip that you've got here that you'll want to try and keep things clean. You're going to want to clean that, and you're just going to want to use a simple lint-free cloth, and you can use really any form of like 91% alcohol or better. I'm going to grab the technical grade stuff that I've got from my DTF printer, and you just are going to want to gently wipe it. And wipe it really in just one direction. Basically on either side. You don't want to like rub it with your fingers. That is a good way to actually damage the strip. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slide the printhead back. I want to get that printhead back in place as soon as possible, but I want to clean the underneath of the printhead real quick as well. And then once I do that, I'll just go ahead and slide it back into place. This is about as good as the angle's going to get up there on my print head. But as you can see, it's up there. And you're going to, again, just take the swab with that cleaning solution material. You're going to want to clean the light really well. And then get all of the stuff around the print head. The print head being this square. Actually wasn't nearly as bad as the time that I had cleaned it previously, because the time I cleaned it previously, I had things come off my silicone plate. Then I'm going to take a clean, lint-free rag and just kind of get any of the excess. Again, making sure to avoid touching the print head so that we're nice and clean. So once that's done, I'm going to go ahead from up top, push the print head back into place, safe and sound. We're ready to finish things up. So one other thing I do want to do in here, and that is grease the rail, which is this rail right here, by using the oil, rust-free oil that Eufymake sent. You're going to just really basically drip that onto a clean swab. Don't need very much of it. And then, kind of hard to show you guys from this angle, but basically you're just kind of running it along the tract. Nothing too exciting. That's all we got to do there. I am down to doing just a couple more things in terms of maintenance, and that is getting the little pads out of here, out of my little ink things. So I just simply popped out one of my ink cartridges, and you can tell that there's this little pad down in there that needs to basically be changed out. Although I got to be honest, at this point, these look really nice. I don't think these need to be changed out. In fact, I'm going to wait for now. But supposedly those are just a matter of going in and popping them out. I'm going to use my little friendly little clip tool here, and look at that. It's come out so easily. But anyway, once I get the old one out, you just want to take, and you've got a new one, and making sure things line up correctly, pop it back in. There you go. Looks good. Pop my ink box back into place. And we're done. And you would do that for all of them. So that's how you do one of them. I'm not going to show you how you do all of them. The last thing I'm going to do here is take care of greasing the rails. And it's kind of hard to see a little bit, but you've got the Z-axis, which is back here. And you just want to run a little bit of grease on that side. And then you also have the axis in here, which can benefit from being greased as well. Just push this down, grease a little bit like that, and then do the same thing, obviously, on the other side. Once I've done all of that, I will return my paste, lock it into place. With all that done, I'm going to plug her back in. So she just made a happy noise, so we should be good in terms of everything. I'm going to run a print test on my little silicone bed to make sure all of the ink looks good. I'll do that here shortly. And then another thing I want to mention is all of the stuff that you cleaned with, those parts that you took out, like the print head and the scraper, all of that is going to need to be disposed of safely. And that's something I think that people forget about. All of that, has wet UV ink on it. That's considered toxic. So what I'm going to do is, part of the reason why I stuck it in a small container that you saw me put that in is that I'm going to take this, I'm actually going to set it outside so that all that ink can cure. Because once all of that is dry, the sponges are dry, the scraper is dry, the print head's dry, I should be able to just place those in the trash without issue since the ink is dry. I have been really cautious and I've been collecting like my ink cartridges and my cleaning cartridges, and I've been leaving them over here inside until I get to a day where I can get to the hazardous waste drop-off that my county runs on a monthly basis. It should hopefully be in a couple of weeks, and I have a number of things that I can actually take and safely dispose of that way. So do keep that in mind. So once you've got all of that done, you just need to make sure you go in and reset the dates on the parts that you've replaced, and that's easy enough to do. You'll go into your Eufymake studio, and you can do this on your phone as well. click the device, and then click parts and maintenance. And you'll see that I've actually already kind of gone in here and done it. But basically what you do is you click and the little arrow and it'll open up, and you hit the reset button, and then you'll just click OK, and it will recalculate it based on the date. If it shows when you're done that, I can hit cancel. If it shows when you're done and it's still saying expired, just relaunch the app. It usually updates itself. It just kind of needs to cycle the software. But you have to do that for the scraper, the air filter. The cleaning cartridge manages itself. It's letting me know that it's good, and it's got an expiration date. Not that I think it's going to last nearly that long, but with parts like the scraper and the air filter, you will need to go in and update the expiration date. I must say, just trying to record the maintenance process on its own was a bit of a challenge. I hope you guys appreciate the camera angling and feng shui rigmarole that I had to do to actually get my camera into position to get that done. I didn't end up replacing the little ink pads underneath my ink cartridges because honestly they looked brand new in there. That seemed like a waste to replace them out. I don't think they're going to honestly experience wear and tear just because the ink cartridge is pressed down on them. I think that's more of a, if they get really dirty, you should replace them. So I have them, and I did replace it on the gloss, but unless somebody tells me otherwise in the comments, and by all means, some of the people who have had their machines longer, let me know if those really do need to be replaced on a regular basis, and I will go in and pull out the other ones. But they looked completely new. I didn't really see a reason that they needed to be replaced. I will recommend trying to get them out. If you have a Cricut weeding tool or another weeding tool, that made getting them out and getting them in much easier than the tweezers Eufymake sent that I don't even think I could reach the bottom of the bottle with because they were just too short. So I recommend getting a weeding tool. That made life so much easier. Or if you happen to have a tool within your possession that can make other tools, then maybe 3D print much longer tweezers. That might help as well. I hope this content was helpful for you guys. I thought I would just kind of do sort of a quick maintenance video since there weren't a lot on YouTube that I could find on how to do this process. Eufymake does have videos on how to do it, but I thought I would walk you guys through the process as well as bring up a couple of little tips on why we do certain things, as well as how to do some things that you may not think of, like for instance, cleaning the encoder strip and making sure you're cleaning the encoder strip properly, not trying to rub it to clean all of that. I could see people doing that and not knowing any better, and that can actually damage the encoder strip. I wouldn't have known that had I not taken the little class that I needed to take to get my warranty for my DTF printer. That was a little nugget that I picked up. Another nugget that I picked up with that was the concept of a printhead strike, and that is that anytime you touch the printhead or the printhead, that square surface that does the actual printing knocks into something, that's considered a printhead strike, and it can greatly shorten the lifespan of your printhead. And you can do that honestly accidentally, just moving the printhead without taking the time to have the scraper, the machine like move the scraper out of the way, is technically considered a printhead strike. And that's why it's important when you're going to do this maintenance to actually have the machine move the printhead back out of the way before you actually do the maintenance, rather than just turning it off and pulling it out. You don't want to do that because that can cause a printhead strike. Those are just the little nuggets that I have for you guys today. I do have some content coming out in the next couple of weeks that's going to be talking about products and a company that I was given the opportunity to work with. I'm really excited about things. One machine a little more than the other, really just out of personal preference, but they both seem pretty nice. So be on the lookout for that next week. They're going to get dropped slightly different days than I typically drop. I think the one video is going to drop on May 6th and then the other one on May 12th. So if you want to stay updated and make sure you know when that content drops, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then ring the bell for notifications. Also, as usual, if you could tap the like button to tell the Eldritch algorithm that this video was a good one, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.